Hello, welcome back to the Wrestling Newsroom. I'm your host, All Things Wrestling, and today we're going to be looking at all the wrestling news from Friday. We start with Charlotte Flair, who wrote a lovely letter to her father, Ric Flair. It said, "Dear Dad, it's that moment when you appear from behind the curtain. Every single night before I perform, I think about what you told me, that the single most important part of any match is that you walk out onto the stage and the crowd sees you for the first time. Whether it's 50 people in an auditorium or 100,000 in a stadium, you said the instant they see you, they can tell right away whether or not you really believe in yourself. I remember my first match, standing in the dark, listening to my heart race. I knew the crowd was just waiting. Not waiting for me, but waiting to judge the next person they saw emerge onto stage. I knew my peers were watching on the monitors just a few feet away. I felt the walls closing in. I could barely breathe. I was like, I had forgotten everything I'd learned about wrestling up to that point. People are going to think I was a fraud, that I was lying, or I was trying to piggyback on the career on your name. I wasn't Charlotte Flair yet. I was still Ric Flair, just Ric Flair's daughter. I feared the worst. I mean, how could I really be prepared? How could anyone live up to the legacy of Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, the limousine ride and jet flying, etc., etc.? That's what the actual thing said. I didn't do that. Ric Flair, one of the most decorated superstars in the history of sports entertainment. It was an impossible expectation to live up to. In that moment, I actually feared that I wasn't made for WWE. Quitting wasn't an option, but how was I going to commit 100% when I was afraid of my own shadow? I was nervous about the fans in the crowd. I was nervous about the superstars in the back. But most of all, I was nervous about the one very specific thought. I couldn't bear the thought of disappointing you." That was a massive insight into what it's like being a legend's daughter. You have succeeded in everyone's expectations, Charlotte. You are fantastic. But there, I can imagine that's just a lovely letter, just showing how much her dad means to her. And then moving on to an interesting story, TMZ caught up with Aerosmith frontman Steven Tyler and asked about Ric Flair's claim of sleeping with 10,000 women. He joked about it first, but then said Ric Flair was full of shit. It just sounds like something he'd say. Quite entertaining. And then James Ellsworth, we'll cover all of his news in this little bit, announced on Twitter that he's starting to take booking dates on February 12th. Email him at bookellsworth@gmail.com. I really want to email him and see how much it'd cost. I'd love to meet the guy. Then he commented on his WWE one with a Facebook post saying, "When I wrestled Braun Strowman in a match that didn't last 2 minutes, and with that neither was my WWE career supposed to. Thanks to the fans all over the world, in those nearly 2 minutes, I lasted a year and a half in WWE. I'll never forget what wrestling fans did for me. I cannot wait to meet fans all over the world. We aren't done yet. We're just getting started. Showing the world that any man with two hands has a fighting chance." God bless James Ellsworth. You go out there, dude, and you rock it. I believe in you. And Shinsuke Nakamura posted a picture on Instagram. It's two boards, surfing boards, and they're just doing a pose next to them, and he said, "James Ellsworth, we connected by the sea, wherever we are, #duh." Oh, they were friends. I like that. Best of luck, mate, really. Oh, and then just a quick update. Los Angeles is going to host WWE Survivor Series 2018. So that's good. They've got Survivor Series, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT taking the Staples Center over 4 consecutive nights. It also lists takeover date, whether that will most likely be there as well. So 5 dates in one arena. They must be grabbing the money there. And then regarding the UK television show, WWE has reportedly indicated to several UK talents that the company is hoping to begin production in early part of 2018. WWE is apparently starting to book venues as placeholders in case the television deal comes through. Please let it come bloody through. I want to see the UK talent a lot bloody more. Seriously, I love the UK talent. And then, if you haven't watched NXT this week, you'll know that Pete Dunne versus Johnny Gargano match for the UK title, which was scheduled to be a dark match for NXT TakeOver War Games, will air during next week's edition of NXT on the WWE Network. It will still be filmed and for the live crowd at NXT TakeOver War Games, but we get to see it on Wednesday. So I'll actually give my official predictions for that there as well. So that's cool. It's going to be out on the TV because I cannot wait to see that. And then, in an update on the revival, Dave Meltzer reports that Scott Dawson is looking to return to the ring in mid-December. He had surgery to repair a torn bicep in August, and it was estimated that he'd be back by the end of the year. So he's on schedule to return. Cannot wait to see him back and miss the revival to death. And when regarding the finish of Brock Lesnar AJ Styles, spoiler alert, obviously, Jinder Mahal will interfere and cost Styles the match. And the idea is having him interfere in the match will be so the WWE champion wouldn't look weak in defeat. Makes sense, so AJ doesn't look weak. The belief is the original plan was that Mahal would blame referee John Cena for his loss. Lesnar isn't expected to lose as the company wants to keep Lesnar as strong as possible for the rumoured WrestleMania match with Roman Reigns. Come on, Reigns, you can kick his ass. I love you, Reigns. And then during an NXT TakeOver War Games conference call yesterday, Triple H noted that the War Games match will have 2 rings and a cage, but there won't be a roof. He said he feels that the competitors will be able to do more creative things in the match without a roof. He said WWE has made small tweaks to the match, but he believes the changes will work better for today's generation. He also noted that the basic concept will remain the same. Okay, I can get on board with having no roof could make for some good diving spots and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I like that idea. I'd like to have seen an original one, but I'm happy with that. And then we go to an updated WWE Starrcade card for Saturday, November 25th. AJ Styles Jinder Mahal steel cage match. Charlotte Flair versus Natalya steel cage match, both for them championships. Fatal 4-way SmackDown Tag Team Championship match. Usos, New Day, Chad Gable and Jason Jordan, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Let Zayn and Owens win it, please. I would love to see Zayn and Owens as a tag team champions. That would be so damn good. Baron Corbin and Shinsuke Nakamura United States match. Grudge match, Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler. Dustin Rhodes versus Dash Wilder. Yes, it is billing him as Dustin. The Hardy Boys are also confirmed to appear at Starrcade, as it is in their home state of North Carolina, as the WWE Hall of Famer and Starrcade legends Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and the Rock and Roll Express. Banging card for Starrcade. Not going to lie. And then a cool story. The Rock's daughter, Simone Garcia Johnson, recently did an interview with the Holiday Reporter, and she said, they said, you appear to be a big fan of wrestling, especially female wrestling. What is it about the sport you love? It's a sport unlike anything else in the world. There's a certain amount of passion in every move and match required. It's so admirable. It's definitely something I thought about and want to pursue. You've signed with IMG Models. Do you hope they're going into acting? As much as possible in the film industry, I don't see myself pursuing a career in it at the moment. I plan to study business at college, NYU, hopefully, and after graduating I want to pursue wrestling and eventually transition into talent management. If she actually got into wrestling, she would become a 4th generation performer. Damn. Go for it. You're the Rock's daughter. I believe in you. And then former WWE and TNA star Mr. Kennedy Anderson is now working as a ring announcer for the boxing promotion Top Rank Boxing in Fresno, California. Glad to see he's got a job. He doesn't sound the greatest. Let's play a little bit. Here he is.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Marcos Rosales puts a stop to this contest before round 5. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by TKO, Young Master.
He's actually not bad. Watching a second time around. There you go. That's him being announced. And now we go to our final story, and it's like Hollywood gossip as well as wrestling news. Jesus, the two have merged. We're going to die. Okay, let's get serious. People.com reported that WWE personality David Otunga, I use the term personality very loosely, and his fiancée singer Jennifer Hudson have split up. A rep for Hudson told the following to People. They have been in the process of ending their relationship for a number of months. Today, Jennifer requested and received a protection order against her ex-fiancé. Jennifer's actions are solely in the best interest of their son. David Otunga's lawyer gave the following statement to TMZ. David Otunga has been trying to negotiate in terms of an amicable parenting agreement with Miss Hudson for several weeks now. However, when it became apparent that Miss Hudson that Mr. Otunga would be the parent granted residential care of the child. As a result, Mr. Otunga being the child's primary caretaker, while Miss Hudson pursues her career all over the world, Miss Hudson decided to file a meritless petition of order of protection in an effort to gain an unfair advantage in the custody dispute. As a result, Mr. Otunga's career in WWE, Miss Hudson felt that she could give an award-winning performance in court to portray herself as a victim. Mr. Otunga has never been abusive or harassed Miss Hudson or their son. The couple have been dating for nearly 10 years and they had a son. David Daniel Otunga Jr. was born August 2009. Jesus Christ, this is going to get messy, guys. But the thing is, the Jennifer Hudson representative didn't actually give any specific details there, but the David Otunga lawyer did. So I'm not going to pick sides. I generally don't give a flying fuck at any point about people's relationships. But I will obviously cover it because it is wrestling-related news. Thank you, David. You made me cover this crap. I don't want to do it anymore. Anyway, let's actually get serious. That has been the Wrestling Newsroom. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give this video a like. Please support me on Patreon. A link on the description below. Subscribe to see more content, and I'll catch you later.